Meeting to order. Pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call of members, please.
Gary Roth.
Here.
Anthony Grass.
Here.
Carl Kinski.
Here.
Joe Prince. Justin Donovan.
Here.
Kathy Waltz. Junie Ewing.
Here.
Jerry Bowman.
Yes.
We have quorum.
Trying to turn my phone down. Approval of the agenda for January 2nd, 2025.
Motion approved.
Have a motion?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Approval of minutes from November 7th, 2024.
I'll move to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
I have a motion, I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Introduction of evidence.
I have the city ordinance book, our comprehensive plan, and then you have the staff report and other materials that were sent out last Friday. That's all.
Motion to accept the evidence.
Got a motion?
Second.
A second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Citizen input. You're doing one here, so. Old business.
I have none, sir.
We'll move to new business. Patrick Fahey, Main Street Inn LLC is requesting a special use permit to allow an RV park business in an I-1 light industrial district at 198 Front Street yard and field surrounding house.
Mr. Fahey is here with us tonight. I do have some additional electrical plans that were provided since I sent you the staff packet, but they basically resemble the water and sewer plans that you have.
Can you refresh my recollection when there was discussion about an RV park behind Audubon's? What did we decide? Did we approve a special use permit? And does his application have any effect on that approval of the special use permit? Or do you have any information suggesting that the new owners simply aren't interested in pursuing that?
So the application referring to was a few years ago. We had to amend ordinance to allow it with a special use permit in an I-1, and we did that.
Okay.
And then the special use permit was approved. It was later denied by the Board of Aldermen.
Okay. Just didn't know what the history was.
And then there was one prior to that down there that was
there?
denied.
And
Where,
I think that one of the reasons the Audubon wasn't pursued was that most of the neighbors objected. There was like 50-something signatures, maybe 60, objecting to that particular location.
Okay, I just didn't, my recollection was inaccurate.
Oh, that's right.
And what I recall from that was one of the biggest concerns was the use of generators. And from what I'm seeing here, you intend to have complete hookups at every single site. So they'll have sewer, water, electric at every one. Is that?
Correct. At least water and electric, sewer we're going to start with, and then we'll decide if we're going to put it in everyone. We may have we have a dump station
Okay.
and have a lower price without a sewer hookup.
what happens with these electrical hookups with flash flooding?
So the panel will have to be oddly above the floodplain. So
Above the floodplain or above what water can be in that field?
it'd be above the base flood. It would be 2 foot above base flood elevation. So you have to pick a point, right? So at 198 base flood elevation, I have it in here somewhere, it's a certain level. And then, I'm sorry, the grade is a certain level. Base flood elevation is about 2 foot above that. So the panel will have to be at about 5 foot is what we discussed.
Okay. Cause I know there's been 4 foot of water in that building before.
It's at about 5
On
foot.
flash flood.
I know I've seen them at the state parks, and yeah, they're like, especially like Sam A. Baker, I think they're head height to me.
So you've got several, Merrimack, Sam A. Baker,
Yeah.
that are all in floodplains.
Most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So elevation at the proposed site is 382.7 feet. The base flood elevation is 385.2. Add 2 foot to
So it's
that.
3 foot.
That's where you get the 5 foot. Add 2 foot,
Yeah.
and the panel will have to be a minimum of 5 foot off the ground. And that is included in the electrical plans. So the outlets themselves, obviously, the sewer hookups, the water hookups will all be at grade or slightly above, but the panel will be.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I know, understanding that there is going to be electric at every single site. Is there any, I didn't read through all of the terms and conditions, but is there anything prohibiting generator use or restricting generator use to a certain time period?
There's nothing in the terms and conditions that I have here. There is a noise ordinance, obviously. What I included was that to make sure the RV park rules include limitations, recreational fires, minimum quiet hours, so that does kind of address the generator, and require off-street parking for all park user vehicles. Some of these parks have problems, mostly the state parks, where you have a bunch of people visiting, and they park along the road and cause issues. I don't know that we'll have that problem.
Yeah.
One thing I was curious about was, will there be any limits on dogs?
Limit on what?
Animal.
Any limit on dogs? How many dogs, how big they are? A lot of people walk in that area. I know I go in certain parts of town where people let their dogs loose. So you're in danger because you're walking your dog and all of a sudden these dogs come up to you, big dogs. I just wondered if you wanted to add something about that limit, or they need to keep them on a leash, that they can't let them just run. Because when you look at the number of people, and I'm for this, but the number of spots there, it's going to be a lot more people than actually live downtown. It's going to be a lot of people when it's full. So just thinking about sort of crowd control and them being good neighbors to each other, not just to us who live in the area.
I know you're seeing dogs off leashes, so that can be reported, but we do have a leash law.
That would probably be something that, Dr. Fay would put on their, I guess, maybe their packet that they give to incoming visitors. These are the local ordinances in terms of leash laws, and this is the sound ordinances, and
That's what I pointed out in number 4 here, that these rules must be provided to each site occupant upon arrival. There's also a stipulation in here, and Dr. Fahey and I spoke about this, that the RV park owner must provide an emergency evacuation plan prior to opening and provide a copy to each site occupant. I think when you go to those places like Sam A. Baker, you're made aware of that also.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of dogs, we do have plans to put in a enclosed dog park. So that if someone have their dog, only dogs off leash would have to be in there.
Would that be in this phase or later?
In the, yeah.
None of the adjoining property owners had anything to say?
No, I mean, it's a limited list you
Yeah.
saw there. It's a big piece of property, mostly surrounded by city property and the others you saw there. But it was also in the paper for 2 weeks also,
Yeah.
or a week, I'm sorry.
I think it's great use of an empty lot down there, so.
Yep.
And this is even using some flood buyout property, right? Is that correct?
At least 4 acres from the levy 3 district in the back. So all of that tall grass that kind of goes all through the back there is at least rights to it.
And there's a copy of that contract.
Any possibility, would there be any possibility long-term, I know, doing some beautification for the folks like who live across the park who'll be looking at this, whose houses are gonna face the RV park or on 61. And just in general, you know, bushes or a
Yeah, of
berm,
course. Yeah, no,
or
I think,
maybe some new trees.
good, and to add some privacy between the different parking spots, we are going to put in shrubbery and trees. The other thing is the setback, where that little tile house is, there won't be any parking spots at that far front. Everything will be in the back further, so it will be pretty not seen for most of the neighbors. It'll be set back further in the lot. We also had plans, we're going to renovate that tile house that's sitting there in kind of disrepair, and turn it in, add laundromat facilities and shower facilities. And still, there's enough room left over that we're going to put in a 750 square foot mini apartment. And where you pull down the bed, sleep on it, and put it up, and that's your living room the next day. And also that I may have somebody that would be interested in keep an eye on the
Caretaker.
lot, the caretaker. Yeah.
You shouldn't have any problem getting anything to grow down there.
I mowed that back 4 acres in the spring, and it's back. It's all 4 feet tall. Yeah.
Old black dirt.
Motion to approve?
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. What we're gonna say next?
Take a vote.
Roll call,
Roll call.
please.
All right, a motion is second for approval. Gary Roth,
Yes.
Anthony Grass,
Yes.
Carl Kinski,
Yes.
Justin Donovan,
Yes.
Junie Ewing,
Yes,
Jerry Bowman.
Yes.
Motion carries 602.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you, Lane.